Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Vijay sir. I think we should start. It's at 6 now. A very good evening to everyone. I welcome everyone in today's session. And today's session is about quick formative assessment ideas. So, once again, a warm welcome to each one of you. And thank you for taking time to attend this webinar to invest in your professional growth.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Vijay sir. So, let me just begin with a simple question. Now, once you are in the class and you are just finished your chapter or a lesson, now tell me, how do you know that your students have really understood today's lesson, whatever you have taught in that class? So, is it when they nod their heads, or when they say yes ma'am I have understood, yes ma'am we understood, or only after the checking the test papers, or you are assuming that now my children have understood this particular chapter? So today's session is all about discovering simple quick assessment strategies that take just 2 to 5 minutes but provide meaningful insights into students learning. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your input in the chat box. A quiz, using quizzes. Definitely. These are the ideas we are going to discuss in next 40 minutes. Let me just share the screen.
Ma'am, we are asking a oral question related to the chapter.
Yeah, ma'am. That is also fine enough. That respect to your chapter content, what you required for making quizzes or any game. We will discuss subject wise also in this webinar. Flip classroom is always important for the primary as well the senior classes. Very nice examples are there. That means we are all in. Now let me just share the screen. Yeah. So quick formative assessment ideas, just a small checks, big learning gains. Now let us understand why formative assessment. Now when we say why formative assessment, means formative is for learning, not just of learning, right? Now formative assessment is just a quick way to check students are understanding during the learning part. So the teachers are improving their teaching immediately, just not the assign the marks. Okay, that child has scored 19 out of 20, that means he has understood every each and part of that lesson. But let me tell you one example over here. Supposingly, after teaching fractions, ask your student to solve one quick problem on a sticky note, or you may be having a answering a poll. If many students are struggling, that means a teacher need to reteach that concept before moving ahead, right? But when NEP 2020 emphasizes on some points which we already aware of it, number one is continuous assessment. Now where we say continuous assessment means check learning regularly, not only in the marks. For example, just ask 2 to 3 questions during every lesson, just to get to know whether they are understanding that concept which is going on in the class. Number two, NEP says competency based learning. Now where we have to focus on applying knowledge, not memorization. For example, supposingly we can ask them, where do we use fraction in daily life? Now children have understood the concept of fraction. Now we can ask them, where do you use fraction in your daily life? Third one is timely feedback, where give immediate guidance or help to student to improve themselves if required. For example, we can say, wow, great idea. Now explain your reasoning. What happened to this? How you solved this problem? Next one is improvement rather than grading. Now here we need to help students to learn from mistakes. For example, just allow them to correct and resubmit their work. So their improvement rather than of grading depends on here only. Now side by side, let's talk about CBSE recommendation also, since we have already discussed yesterday's webinar. CBSE recommendation means number one is frequent evidence of learning, where we collect small proofs of understanding. For example, we use exit tickets, we use thumbs up, we use thumbs down, or we use a mini whiteboard just to get their evidence of the learning for the regular checkup of to track their progress. Number two is higher order thinking. Now here, teacher encourage students to analyze and justify. For example, if you say, what do you think of this solution works? So just ask them to analyze about it, evaluate about it, and then that child will apply that knowledge into your problem solving question. Number three is self and peer assessment. Now which empowers learners to reflect and learn from each other. For example, use a simple checklist to review a partner's work. Or next one is diagnostic assessment to improve teaching. Now where we need to identify the learning gaps. We need to identify the learning gaps and plan for the next lesson. For example, just have a quick of 3 questions quiz before starting a new topic. There you get to know that you need to reteach of that concept or you can move forward in that lesson. So for this slide, I would conclude by one line. I would say here, every lesson should include a quick check of learning, not just at the end of the chapter. Maybe in between or during the lesson only, you can keep a quick check of learning. So we can say it, we teach, it is a cycle in between the slide, we teach, we check, we feedback, improve, and then come to learn. Next slide. Now next slide is a characteristics of effective formative assessment. Now when we say characteristics of effective assessment, a good formative assessment is not about giving marks. It is about understanding how students are learning. Number one, if we talk about quick. Supposing it quick means 2 to 10 minutes. That means an activity takes only few minutes during or at end of the lesson. For example, if you say 1 minute exit ticket, which we have already talked, 1 minute exit ticket or a quick Google form quiz. Number two, ongoing. Now it happens regularly, not just before the exams. Supposingly you are asking 1 or 2 check off for understanding question in every lesson, just to have a regular checkup before the exams. Number three is low stress. Now low stress says, yes ma'am, Mentimeter is also there. We will come on that with a digital tool applying. Number two is low stress. Now no pressure of marks, grades, so students answer honestly. They can thumbs up, they can thumbs down, side away, or thumbs up down to show their confidence. Peer deck also, definitely ma'am, we will take under the digital tool power. Next is interactive. Now when students are actively participate instead of just listening. For example, think and pair activity or using the mini whiteboard just to display the answers. You are asking a question and they are giving a one-word answer by writing on a mini whiteboard. Number four is feedback oriented. Now feedback oriented means the goal is to improve learning through immediate feedback. For example, if you are saying, oh, you are on the right track, now explain why do you choose this answer. Next one is competency focused. Now here checks whether students can apply what they have learned. For example, supposingly if you say, instead of asking for a definition, you can ask, where would you use this concept in real life? Right? So instead of asking, did you understand? Most of our students will simply reply, yes ma'am. But instead of this question, we can ask, all right, show me how you solved this question. So they will check the process, what they have done in the whole learning. Or we can ask in the way, explain your thinking now. Now, which actually reveals the understanding of that student. Or we can have a third question, okay, can you give me another example of it? So now here you check the application and the deep learning of that student. So for this slide, to conclude here, I would say, don't just ask if students understand, ask them to demonstrate their understanding. That's when real learning becomes visible. Small checks, big insight, better learning. Next slide. Now, quick assessment strategy number 1. We have 4 strategies over here. Number 1 strategy is exit tickets. Now, small ticket, big impact on learning. Now, let us understand what are exit tickets. Exit tickets are the short questions students answer in the last 2 to 5 minutes of the lesson. That's called name as exit tickets. So, they help teachers to quickly check what students have learned before they leave the classroom. For example, if we are saying here, one thing I learned today is, now to carry forward to a child, that child will complete the sentence. Or you can ask one question, I still have this. Or maybe if they have a confusion, they will write in that. Or rate your understanding or your self-understanding 1 to 5. They will there and then understand how much they have learned in that class. Or you can ask, write one real life application of today's lesson. Where would you apply this application, what we have understood today? Right? Supposingly we have subjects over here. For example, in science, if I am giving you example, just a common example, in science if we are using an chapter on acid, so we can ask here, what is the one use of acid in daily life? Now, example must be the same. Vinegar is used in cooking or cleaning. In the similar way, we have a mathematics class. We can ask them, write one method to verify your answer. Now, answer will be from students will be, I check my answer using the inverse operation. Right. Similarly goes to the English subject. If we want to go use today's vocabulary word in a sentence. Child has learned a new vocabulary word. So now we are asking them to use it in the sentence. Similarly, in social science, we can ask them, name one way today's topic affects our daily life. So the benefit is just taking only 2 minutes, no lengthy test requires. Benefit next is it helps to plan the next lesson. Teachers know whether to reteach or move ahead. It helps or identifies the misconceptions. It actually helps to reveal the learning gaps before they become a bigger problem. So for this slide, I would say in one line to conclude here, exit tickets provide a quick snapshot of a student learning, helping teachers to make more informed decisions for the very next lessons. Next slide. Now our quick assessment strategy number 2, which is think, pair and share. Now where we call it think, pair and share, it is just a simple collaborative strategy where students think independently. Right? Discuss with their partners and then they share their ideas with the class. It actually helps teachers to check understanding while encouraging active participation. So the process goes like, think. Number 1, we tell them to think about it. So students think about the question individually. Number 2 comes is pair. Yes, Lakshmi ma'am, thinking routine and think wanderer. Yes, ma'am, yes. Thank you for your participation. Now then comes to your pair, which is coming to, they discuss their ideas with a partner. Then comes to the third step, share. Pairs share their responses with the class. For example, if you are giving a question, okay children, how can we reduce the plastic waste in school? So the think activity will be each students write one or two ideas. Pair activity will be partners compare and discuss their ideas. Then sharing activity will be each pair presents one practical solution, such as using the reusable water bottles or the setting up a recycling bins, like that. Now what the teacher observes here? Teacher will observe here communication. Can student explain their ideas clearly? Teacher will observe critical thinking. Can they justify their solution? Teacher will observe their collaboration. Do they listen? Do they respect and build on each other's ideas? Now why it works here? Because it encourages every student to participate, not just a few volunteers. Every student will participate in this activity. It actually gives students time to think before answering. It provides immediate insight into students' understanding. Right? Coming to the next strategy. Quick assessment strategy number 3, that is digital and interactive tool. Lakshmi ma'am, here we goes. So what are digital and interactive assessment tools? These tools helps teachers to check student understanding instantly while making learning fun, engaging and interactive. So the popular tools are Google Forms, where you can make quick quizzes with an automatic scoring card. Number 2 is Microsoft Forms, where you can create polls, quizzes and surveys with the instant result only inside the class. Number 3 is Kahoot, that is a game-based quizzes that makes learning more exciting, because Kahoot have a visual part also. You can show the visuals and then they choose the answers to select over it. Next is quizzes, that is a self-paced quizzes with the instant feedback and reports. Then comes to Mentimeter, which is most popular over here. Teacher must be using in the class, which is more useful for live polls, word clouds and question answers during the lessons only. Next is Padlet. If you are talking about Padlet, students post their ideas, reflections or examples on a shared digital bowl where everybody can see those polls. If teacher has put the setting over here, that is a shared digital board. Last one is a Plickers. These are the very useful part if you have started using in your class. Quizlet is also same like quizzes only, ma'am. Now comes to the Plickers. Students answers using printed cards. Only the teacher needs a mobile device. So teacher just set up the settings in the that app, and she has made the Plickers over there. She can distribute the Plickers. She can distribute the Plickers to the students, and students can easily play with the help of that camera in that device which teacher is holding that. Okay, now they are moved now. Yes, ma'am, quizzes is now known as Playground. Yes. Next one is, if we are taking the examples in a subject wise, so it depends on your subject, how your chapter is going and what kind of content you need to ask the student and identify the observation, so you can make and use any of the tool to have the assessment or to have the quick check-in with them. So for this slide, technology, Joby sir, please I request you to mute yourself. So technology makes formative assessment faster. I request Joby Paul ma'am sir, please request mute yourself.
ഒരു കോഴിനെ ഈ വൈകുന്നേരം ഇതേമാതിരി ഒരു കോഴിനെ ഓടിക്കുന്നത് തുടങ്ങിയിട്ട് ഞാൻ അവിടെ അച്ഛൻ വരെ പോയി, അതറിയില്ല. ഏതാ ഞാൻ മറ്റേ കട്ട് ചെയ്തെടുത്ത് നമ്മുടെ
Okay, I muted him. Now I'm sharing the screen again. Alright. So coming to the next strategy, quick assessment strategy number 4, that is your observation checklist. Now when we say observation checklist, means observation checklist helps teachers to assess students by watching them during learning activities. So instead of replying or relying only on the written test, teachers record what students can do in real classrooms. Right? If we are talking about, supposingly we are talking about science experiment, we are doing the science experiment in the class. So while students are performing an experiment, teacher observes, are they following the procedure correctly? Teacher can observe, can they explain their observation, what they are doing? Teacher observe that are they working well with their groups? So instead of giving marks immediately, teacher notes the strength and the areas that need support. So here is one of the example of the checklist I made on the slide. Yes or need support. The skills are there. You can prepare your skill list as per your chapter or the lesson you are teaching to those children. Now where can we use this observation checklist? We can use it in experiment, observe the scientific skills and the teamwork. We can use in group work, where we can check the participation and the collaboration. We can use in projects where the assess the planning, creativity and application of the concept. We can use in art integration, where you can observe the creativity and understanding through art. We can use in role play, where you can evaluate communication, you can evaluate the confidence level and subject understanding. Right? So next one is benefits will be observe, note, support, every steps count over here. So the observation checklist helps teachers to capture learning as it happens, making assessment authentic, continuous and competency based. Pradeep sir, I request you to please mute your mic. Next strategy.
minus 1 by 3i plus 4 by 3j और plus 1 by 3k. तुम इसको ठीक करो.
Now coming to the quick assessment strategy number 5, that is your self and peer assessment, which I have mentioned in my second slide. Now self and peer assessment means self and peer assessment actually encourage students to reflect on their own work. That's okay, ma'am. I requested him to mute yourself. That's okay. So self and peer assessment encourage students to reflect on their own work and give constructive feedback to the classmates. This build actually the responsibility and helps students to become more active or more active participant in that learning. So finally, if we can say, student can use, number 1 is 2 stars and a wish. So student can give like this 2 stars. Okay, 2 things done well. So I can give myself 2 stars, or I can give 2 stars to my peer or my friend. Next is 1 wish. That means 1 suggestion for the improvement. For example, if we are taking an example, supposingly they have written a 1 paragraph. Paragraph writing is there. Now, I liked your introduction. You used good vocabulary. Next time, add more supporting details. So these kind of feedback you can give to your peers and give to your stars, so that peer and self-assessment should be coming up with more participation and positive responses. Number 2 is traffic light cards. Now here it is very interesting. Students show their understanding using the colored cards. Just like a traffic light cards, we can say call it traffic light cards. Green card says I understand. Yellow card says I need more practice. Or red card says I need help. So you can immediately decorate those cards with emojis or any kind of definition or defined drawing. So the green card says I understand, so everybody can show their card as per the understanding of that chapter. And this example only for the traffic light cards. If I say, after teaching multiplication, now students hold up a colored card, so the teacher instantly knows who is ready to move on and who needs extra support, right? And the benefit part of this assessment strategy, it actually encourages reflection on learning. It develops the responsibility and independence. It builds a growth mindset by viewing mistakes as opportunities to learn. The last one is better engagement, and it increases the better engagement as well as the participation, right? So just to conclude this slide, I would say here, when students assess themselves and each other, they become active learners who reflect, who improve, and take ownership of their learning. Next strategy or the classroom examples. Now let us discuss classroom examples across the subjects. I have taken a common examples over here, so just let us discuss in a common ground. Now classroom examples, formative assessment can be used in every subject with simple and quick activities. Number one, let's take in a mathematical class. Now we can use mini whiteboards. Now students solve the problem and hold up their boards and show the answers on the board. Supposingly solve 36 multiply by 4 and show your answer on that board. Now error analysis. Now when we say error analysis, student find and correct a mistake, where the example will be a student wrote supposingly 25 plus 18 equals to 33, right? Now what is the correct answer? So thank you ma'am, thank you for the appreciation on the slide. What is the correct answer? So student will, error analyzing means then they are devoting their time to analyze the error and they are finding out the answers, then they are putting on a mini whiteboard. Next activity is 1 minute problem. Now 1 minute problem is solve one quick question in 1 minute. Supposedly teacher has taught the fraction over here and teacher is saying find 3 by 4 of 20. So children are immediately solving this because timer is 1 minute. So when they understood the concept, they will solve it and they will show the answer on whiteboard to the teacher. Let's take the science example in a science class. Now in science class we say POE, that is predict, observe, explain. Now what will happen when ice is heated? Now just to remember this question in the mind, what will happen when ice is heated? That means we predict, observe and explain, right? Next is concept cartoons. Now students choose which character's ideas is correct and explain why, which is very beneficial or very interesting in science class especially, I would say here. Thank you Zoom and thank you Vartika ma'am. Next, take an English example in English class. Now we can have an activity 1 minute summary. Now in 1 minute summary, what we have to do? Just summarize today's lesson in 1 or 2 sentences. Or we can have a vocabulary challenge. Use today's new words in a meaningful sentence, which is very much common in the English subject or Hindi subject. Next one is social science. Yes ma'am, we will definitely discuss about it, each and everything in Q&A sessions. So just let me complete my slides, then I'll discuss for the primary classes. So next one is social science. We can have an exit question. Why is the constitution important? Or we can give a timeline activity. All right, arrange historical events in the correct order. So they will remember 1857 event, then comes to 1905 event. What was the main cause of the revolt of 1857? Right, that will be a timeline activity. Next one is languages. Now in languages, we can have a peer speaking checklist like oral retelling. Now when we have a oral retelling, just retell a story in your own words. Picture description. Describe what you are seeing or using the complete sentences. Next one is peer speaking checklist. Now partners check if the speaker spoke clearly, confidently, and used correct vocabulary. Right? Then comes to the primary classes. Now here is the idea for these teachers who are asking me in the chat box. Then comes to the primary classes. We can have these ideas in the primary one. We can have emoji cards. Now in emoji cards, students show how well they understood the lesson. Just pass on all the emojis card to everyone. They should be having a smiley one or having a sad one or a blank one also. Next is you can have a thumb signals. Thumbs up equals to one understand or I understands. Side away means not sure. Or thumbs down means need help. Right? Third one is show me boards. Now show me boards means students write a letter, number or answer and hold it up together. Supposingly, if child is not understanding, I am taking the example of primary one because teachers are asking in the chat box. Supposingly you are going with the phonics classes or a phonics one, if child is not able to distinguish or not able to understand particular letter sound, so that child will write that letter supposingly C. So she or he will write letter C and show it to you. That is your show me board. That means you will understand that this child has some problem and he needs some support from you to understand the sound of letter C. So for this slide, I would say in one line, just to conclude here, no matter the subject or a grade level, just a quick 2 to 5 minutes formative assessments helps teachers to check understanding, identify learning gaps, and adjust instructions immediately. Next slide. Now the final key takeaways. Just to remember here, formative assessment is not an extra activity. It should be natural part of every lesson to support the learning. And just to remember here, quick formative assessment should be a part of every lesson. For example, if you are ending each class with one quick exit question or a thumbs up or thumbs down check-in, right? Number 2 is it should be focus on learning, not the marks. For example, here instead of giving a score, you can ask them, can you explain how you got your answer? Number 3 is it should be give immediate feedback. Now here, oh, great strategy. Now check your final calculation once more. So it will give an immediate feedback. Next one is help modifying instructions. Now if most of the students struggle with the concept, revisit it using a different activity before moving ahead. Next is promote competency based learning. Now instead of asking students to define evaporation, you can ask in this way, all right, where do you see evaporation happening in daily life? Now they will just keep on remembering and asking few more questions. Clothes are getting dry in the air when mom is washing the clothes and she's putting on the clothes line and the clothes are getting dry, that's called evaporation, and on that. So the assessment cycle will be on the right side of the slide. If you can see here, cycle goes from teaching, assess, feedback, improve, and then comes to reassess. So this is the continuous learning, better outcomes. So assess to understand, understand to improve. Every check today, better learning tomorrow. So for this slide, I would say my final takeaway will be, small checks lead to big learning gains. When teachers assess continuously, they can provide timely support, close learning gaps, and they help every child or every student to succeed. So the best assessment is the one that improves learning while learning is still happening. Notice, observe the understanding, check is get feedback in the moment, adjust is to improve teaching and learning, grow better every day. So the timely feedback, meaningful changes, stronger learning. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. Coming to the slide.